Hi everyone, so I want to show you something I've been working on for a while, and it is Loopover related. So when I first created Loopover in 2013, everything was no-regrips. That's because I was programming it on my calculator, and calculators don't have mice or cursors, so you couldn't just drag whatever you wanted. Essentially, I had no-regrips on, which is, you can see, only the M can be dragged. No other tile can be dragged. Which means it's very TPS heavy. By that I mean you can do a bunch of key presses at once because you only ever need to press the arrow keys. And that's because you don't need to give the computer any other information for it to know which direction you want to move. So, ever since 2013, it's been my goal to be able to solve 5x5 no-regrips, but it's actually much more difficult than 5x5 normal because the fact that you can't move, you can't decide which row or column you actually want to move really inhibits you. And just try it for yourself. You'll find that you end up in a lot of sticky situations where you just can't get the M tile out of where it's currently stuck. So even though 5x5 normal is pretty easy, 5x5 no-regrips, actually let me drag it here so you can see it more easily. It's pretty difficult in my opinion. So in my quest to figure out how to solve this now, I knew that I needed to find a certain move or sequence of moves that would have a very minimal impact on the board. So it would fine-tune just a few pieces so you could really narrow down what you wanted to affect. I kind of said the same thing 3 times. Whatever. So it's a 5x5, which means that every move you can make shifts 5 pieces, which is 4 transpositions, which is an even number. And that means that you will only ever reach even permutations of the board, which means 2 swaps are not possible. Because a 2 swap would be 1 transposition, and that is odd. And actually, I don't know if transposition is the right word, but I think if you know about group theory, then you know what I'm talking about. Actually, I'll just Google it. Is it called a transposition? Maybe it's a transmutation or something. Okay, I want to get through this quick because there's a lot of stuff to cover. Group theory. 2 swap. What is it called? Okay. It is called a... Why is it so slow? Yeah, it is called a transposition. So I was right. No need to worry. Okay. So, with that all being said, 2 swaps are not possible. So the smallest, most fine-tuned move that you could do would do a 3 cycle to the board, shifting 3 individual pieces in a cycle. And my goal was to find one of those, because once you have one, you can pretty much set up any board state into that 3 cycle, and then do the 3 cycle, undo the setup, and then 2 more pieces will be solved. Essentially, you'll solve, your second half of the solve will be done in 3 style. So if you know how to solve a Rubik's Cube blindfolded pretty well, then you know 3 style. So that was my goal, but how do I find this 3 cycle? That's actually pretty difficult. So, typically if you want to find a 3 cycle, you would do a commutator, right? But with no-regrips, it's kind of hard to find a commutator because commutators are of the form A, B, A prime, B prime. But if you say A is move right and B is move down, well, A prime is not going to do the opposite of A because if we move left, it affects a different row. So this is a real problem because in order to do A prime successfully, the cursor has to be in the same position that it started as. So I told myself both A and B need to not move the cursor overall. Oh, by A and B, I'm not referring to these 2 tiles here. I'm referring to a sequence of moves that I'm going to consider as my first chunk and my second chunk that will eventually take the form, the whole move set that does the 3 cycle is of the form A, B, A prime, B prime. Okay, so that all being said, how did I find that 3 cycle? So the first thing you'll notice is that if you do a sequence of moves... Okay, let me make the board a little bigger to demonstrate what I mean. So in 11 by 11, if you do a sequence of moves, let's say I move in a clockwise circle like that, it shifts quite a lot of tiles. I think it's something around 40 here because these 2 columns and these 2 rows are completely shifted. And that's not going to work well for our commutator because the more pieces we mess up, the more overlap there will be between A and B, and the less likely we are to actually have a 3 cycle. So I told myself that whatever sequence of moves A is, it should have the same number of left and right moves for every single row, and the same number of up and down moves for every single column, because then all of the like drastic shifts will be canceled out. So what I mean by that is that if we do a circle like this, you can see that the middle row was shifted to the right overall, which means that if we do another set of moves to like shift it back like that, then the middle row is pretty much taken care of. There's a few exceptions because the 83 got like pushed in there, but for the most part, the row has been recovered. So with that all being said, there's quite a few like sets of moves that will move the cursor back into the middle position and have every single row and column like canceled out with their ups and downs and all that. So one easy example of that is, let's do a circle, I'll just do it like that. Now I'll flip it horizontally and do it like that. Now that fixed all of our rows, because like if a row's moved left, it was then shifted right and vice versa, but it messed up our columns. So if we just do the same thing but flipped vertically, then it'll fix everything. So we do that. And what that does is, I guess I just said it, it fixes all the columns. So there's a few mismatched pieces, but everything outside the vicinity of the cursor has been fixed. The problem is, like, okay, so I didn't know what this would cause on the board until I tested it. I was hoping that would already give me a 3 cycle, but if you actually look at these pieces, it gives you a 7 cycle. So 49 went here, which is where 40 is. 40 went where 51 is. 51 went where 83 is. 83 went where 84 is. Oh, I messed up somewhere. But anyway, it's a 7 cycle, and that's just like too many pieces to really manage well. So I knew that messed up somewhere. I knew that wasn't going to work. But that illustrates the concept of a move set where all the rows and columns are realigned at the end. So what was my next attempt? Well, let me show you on my notebook. This sequence of moves up here is 14 moves, which is actually fewer than the 4 circles I just showed you. And it can be more easily visualized with these two diagrams, like do this one and then this one. That might be a little dim to see, but I'll just do it on the board to show you what I mean. So if you do those 14 moves, let's go back to a 5x5 board. We're gonna kind of make a 5 shape. By 5, like imagine no, that's not a 5 shape, that's a 2 shape. So like the number 2. So I'm gonna go up to the top of the 2 and then swirl my way down like that. And then everything else is pretty much, what? Okay, I don't want WinZip, go away. Okay, everything else I do at the end is pretty much to realign all the rows and columns. So that's this, which reshifts the second row back, and then that shifts the bottom row or 4th row back, and then just go up. So as you can see, everything far away from the cursor has been restored pretty much. I think we get a 7 cycle again or something. I don't really know, but like that was my starting point. So what exactly did that do? Well, G went to where, okay, I think all my arrows here are backwards, but the idea still follows. G went down here where Q is, Q went where R was, R went where H was, and H went where G was. So we have this 4 cycle between these 4 pieces, kind of forming like a 2x3 rectangle, if you can see. And then on the right side, more pieces moved, and we can see that O went where S, no wait, hold on. Okay. O went where I went where N was, N went where S was, and S went where O was. So there's another 4 cycle here that kind of makes the shape of the T tetramino in Tetris, pointing to the right. So I have all my arrows backward here, which I apologize for, but if you look at this diagram right here, that's what those 14 moves achieve. Now, like I said, I want to find a 3 cycle, so the fact that these moves do affect 8 pieces is a little too much for what I want. So what do? I mean, I'm just playing around. I'm trying to find ways to kind of cancel moves or like remove cycles. So when you look at this diagram, you notice that this 4 cycle is in a rectangle, and rectangles look the same when you flip them upside down, right? Especially because it's like a clockwise or counterclockwise, it doesn't really matter. If you imagine flipping the whole thing upside down, this rectangle would still pretty much look the same, except it would be on the right side of the square instead of the left. So what I thought I could try doing is, what if I apply this sequence of moves at the top? Oh, everything's flipped, so it's kind of hard for me to see. And then like I end up causing this to the board. Then I shift my cursor to the left and then do my sequence of moves backward. That would actually undo everything in the rectangle. So these 4 pieces, specifically, I'm talking about G, H, R, and Q in this rectangle, will become solved again. Now, I had no idea what that was going to cause for this T tetramino of pieces here. Oh, yeah, here. Because, like, it's just going to... That's also going to be shifted, but they're not going to cancel out, so I don't know what would happen. But I figured, why not try it? Because it might give me something good. So, imagine I call... okay, I have bad notation on this paper, but imagine I call this notation at the top, like, the... Let me think of a name. Okay, microphone. I'll just call it the microphone move because I'm looking at a microphone right now. So the microphone move is 14 moves. So what I'm going to try to do is microphone right. Wait, hold on. Sorry. What I want to do is microphone left, microphone inverse right. And what is that going to do to the board? Okay, like I said, we know we're going to resolve G, H, R, and Q, but what is it going to do to the rest? Okay, so let's do the rest. We already did microphone, then left. Hold on. Left. Well, why don't I have... Why don't I have keyboard? Okay, so left, and then... Oh. Okay, I don't want to re-record the video, but... Sorry. It's not microphone left, microphone inverse right. It's microphone left. Here I called microphone A in a circle, but it's microphone left, upside down, backward microphone right. And I forgot, you have to also flip it upside down and do the inverse. You do the inverse because you want the rectangle to cycle in the opposite direction. Okay, yeah, you get it. Okay, I'm gonna do microphone inverse backward, which is a lot of stuff. So that would be, well, I just have it written down. I'm just gonna do it. So that would be this. That's microphone inverse upside down, or yeah. And then you move right to undo everything. So that is 30 moves, and actually that's what I'm going to end up calling A. Like all of that was just A. And what did it do? Well, as you can see, it did in fact resolve G, H, Q, and R because of the whole rectangle thing. But for the rest of the pieces, I mean, we can look at it. F went to where L was, L went to where P was, P went to where K was, and K went to where F was, creating another T tetramino cycle that's pointing to the right. And on the right side, we actually have the same thing. It's another T tetramino pointing to the right. So after doing microphone left, upside down microphone inverted right, we end up with this effect to the board right here. This. And already this is looking better than this was because it's just more symmetrical. And it looks like fewer pieces are involved. Sure, it's also 8, but they just look more condensed, so I liked that. Then it suddenly dawned on me. Okay, so if you want your commutator to affect as few pieces as possible, you want the overlap of move A and move B to be as small as possible. So ideally, I would want A and B to only intersect at one piece. So here's the big revelation that made me like figure it all out. If you look at these two, like it looks like a YouTube rewind kind of thing, 2 arrows pointing to the right. I guess that's YouTube fast forward, whatever. If you rotate the whole thing clockwise, 90 degrees or counterclockwise, it doesn't really matter, you'll notice that only one tile is affected by both like this normal move and like it rotated. And I think if you rotate it, I have to just look at it. If you rotate it counterclockwise, which I think I did, the only tile that will be hit by both cycles is this one to the upper right of the cursor. All other pieces are only affected by one move or the other. So like I said, I'm going to call this normal one A, and to remind you, A is actually equal to microphone left, backwards, upside down, microphone right. And then B is that whole thing, but rotated clockwise or counterclockwise. It doesn't really matter. I'll show you later. So the whole commutator which will do the 3 cycle that I've been looking for, is A, B, A prime, B prime. Now if you think about it, any piece that is only involved with one of the cycles will just make a move, and then later that move will be inverted, because if it's only in A, then A, B, A prime, B prime just looks like A prime. So it's just going to do something and then revert it. And the same thing goes for B. It'll just look like B, B prime. So that piece will also be reverted. The only piece that is actually changed by this whole sequence are any pieces that are in both A and B, because if you do A and B, that might take you somewhere, but then A prime, B prime might not take you back. So with that all being said, the final move sequence is, okay, it looks pretty bad, but it's this. Okay, so this is what it causes to the board. I found that out by testing. I couldn't really figure that out by just looking at my notes. And this is a sequence. So here's A, B, A prime, B prime. In total, it's 120 moves, which is just ridiculously inefficient. But like, I'm just trying to solve this thing. I'm not trying to solve it fast. So, yeah, I guess I'll just do it on the board to show you how it works. And like, if you want to follow along, these are the moves. Okay, so let me solve the board again, and I'll just do these 120 moves as fast as possible. Just clearly, okay, here we go. I already messed up. Okay, let me restart. Actually, let me go to Sandbox so you can see how many moves I'm making. Okay, so this is microphone, right? That was the original 14 mover that doesn't affect the rows and columns at all. I mean, outside of the vicinity of the cursor. Left, upside down backward microphone, like that. Right, and that gives us A. Okay, good. We're 1/4 of the way done. We have 30 moves in. B is that whole thing rotated counterclockwise 90 degrees, which is like this. You can see that now we're going more horizontally than vertically, whereas A went more vertically than horizontally. Down instead of left, because we're rotated. Then inverted, backward, rotated. No, inverted, upside down, 90 degrees rotated microphone, which is this. Up. So now I've done A and B, and the board is looking pretty scrambled because like this is the furthest we're going to get from the solved state. But now as we do A prime, B prime, everything should become solved that like isn't in both of the cycles. Anyway, okay. So A inverted, it's just A backwards. So we're going to start by going right. Then I don't want to say what I'm doing, but some form of microphone, then right, and then some other form of microphone. Oh, I messed up there. So that should be 90 moves, but I went up and down by mistake, so it's 92. Just keep that in mind. Okay, so we're 3/4 done. Now we just need to do B prime. Okay, that's easy. Let's just do it. Down, then this, then this. Oh shoot. Okay, I did 2 more moves by mistake and undid them. Up, then this, then this. And we're done. Okay, so like I said, I did 3 mistake moves and 3 moves to fix that, so now it says 126 moves, but it's really only 120. And what did it do to the board? Well, H went to where O is, O went to where I was, and I went to where H was. So that's a 3 cycle. And actually I realized I drew all these cycles backwards in my notes because I was looking at where pieces went in or came from instead of where they went, which I don't think is as intuitive. So in black, what I'm drawing now is what effect these 120 moves have on the board. If your cursor is here, it'll just cycle these 3 pieces. So that's pretty useful because if I want to do any 3 cycle on the board now, I can try to shift it, like kind of finesse it into this form, not form, like location on the board, and then do the sequence of moves, undo the finessing, and we're good. So with that all being said, now I'm going to finally start the solve and see if I can actually get a world record, not world record, but like it's the first 5x5 no regrips solve ever done, I believe. So let's get to it. Now, one thing I want to remind you is that I don't have to only use this to solve the whole board. It actually turns out that the first 3x3 square that you build is really intuitive. Okay, so I'm going to scramble and I'm just going to get started. So, to build a 3x3, I'm going to start with the 2x2 in the upper left corner, and those are the letters A, B, F, and G. So let's just do that. And like, if I want to move A to the upper left, I have to kind of put my cursor next to A and then like shift it because otherwise it's not going to cooperate. There's B, pretty simple. Now, see, like here's the first problem you run into. You might want to think like You want to just drag F up to match G, but if you just move your cursor over, you're going to push G over. So you have to kind of do some weird stuff and like hope for the best. Okay, I'm not doing that well. Shoot. Okay, we're good. So there's the 2x2. That just takes a little intuition. Now, to finish off the 3x3, we're not going to continue building to the lower right because that's going to include the cursor itself. And that would be a problem if the cursor was already solved. So this whole thing loops over, right? So this thing is still a 3x3 if we solve u and v in the lower left, y in the lower right, and e and I in the upper right. That is still a 3x3 if you loop over. Now, because you have even less freedom, you have to be a little more formulaic and like systematic with how you solve things. I think like if you do E and I is still pretty easy, so I'm just gonna try that. And that goes to the right of everything. So like okay, we're almost there. See there. Now E and I are solved, so I essentially have a 2x3 now. But for U, V, and Y, it gets pretty tough because there's so little freedom now. You only have 2 free columns and 3 free rows. Well, okay, there's a really systematic way to do this, and I think it's a pretty weird way to think of this board, but if you position M in the middle and then go clockwise in this circle, not affecting your solved pieces at all, well, what does that actually do? Well, look at the D at the top, and like just watch it as I move around. It's kind of going on this conveyor belt that makes 4 left turns and eventually comes back to the like same spot. So it loops all 15 pieces in that cycle along this like conveyor belt. So that's okay, this is a weird analogy, but if you have a 3x3, it's kind of like doing an AUF on a 3x3. Okay, actually that's a bad analogy. Forget I said that. Basically, what you can do is use this kind of cycling pattern to put pieces into place one by one. Okay, so I want to solve u, v, and y, but y comes first because it loops over. So I'm going to start with y. So I'm going to like watch y as I do this cycling. There might be more efficient ways of doing this, but whatever. As soon as it hits this location, I can actually cheat a little bit, and instead of doing the cycle again, I'm going to go downward, which kind of breaks away from my cycle, push it in, come back up, and then just keep doing the typical like shuffling. I'll call this the conveyor belt move since it's like all 15 pieces are going in this conveyor belt with 4 right turns. So the next letter I'm looking for is U, and as soon as it hits this location, I'm going to shift it over again because now it's in a place where it's not going to be affected by the conveyor move. Now I'm going to do the same thing. Next piece is V. And of course, if you're efficient, you might realize like, oh, maybe it's better to do this backward to get the piece into place faster. Don't really care about that. Anyway, V's in the spot, so I'm going to do the thing, and I'm going to like break from the cycle and like, okay, that's not breaking the cycle, but you know what I mean? Okay, U, V, Y are all solved, which means I have a 3x3 solved, and you can see it. The corners are all solved. So now I have to resort to the giant commutator move, I think. But fortunately, I can use the conveyor move now just to try to solve as many pieces as possible by coincidence. Now there are 15 of them, and it is like obviously possible to solve at least one at once. See, like C is solved just because I chose it to be. But if I get lucky, and almost certainly actually, there must be a way to solve more than one at once. So if C is solved, can I get anything else to be solved? D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T. Nothing else is solved, so that's actually a bad place to start from. So I'm going to just go clockwise. Is anything solved here? H is solved. Wait, hold on. Oh my god, I messed up pretty badly. When I said E and I should be solved in the upper right, it should be E and J. And I'm pretty sure everyone who knew that was really annoyed or like irked that I hadn't fixed that yet, but I'll just fix it now, and I don't think it should be that hard. So I'll just pretend like I'll do the same thing with the like U, V, Y, but I'll do it on the rightmost column. So I'll pull it out, and then I'll do the shifting thing until J's in there. Okay, we're good. It's fixed now, and now I can go back to the like cycling thing to just randomly solve as many as possible. Okay, C and H are both solved, and P. Okay, P, R, C, and H are all solved when I do this, which means without even consulting my 120 move commutator, I've already solved 9 plus 4 equals 13 pieces, and there's only 24 pieces total, so that means we have 9 unsolved pieces. And actually, I'm really happy with that, because that could be as few as 4 commutators. Do you see that? 9 unsolved pieces. So those pieces are Q, D, X, W, T, O, L, and K. Wait, what about S? Hold on. Okay, let me think about this. Wait, I is also solved. Okay, I'm losing my mind. Okay, so C, H, I, P, and R are all solved by chance. So that's 5 pieces plus the 9 in the 303 is 14 pieces. Okay, but there's 24 pieces total, so it's 10 unsolved pieces. I don't know where I got that 9 from. I'm sorry, but it's 10 unsolved pieces, and those pieces are, and I should write them down just to keep track of things. Okay, so we have Q, D, X, W, O, L. Wait, what about T? Okay, what am I doing? Okay, Q, D, X, W, T, O, L, N, and K. So these 10 pieces need to be solved, which means it's going to be at least 5 commutators, because each commutator can solve 2 pieces, but then there's the last one that doesn't count. So now I'm going to create, I don't know what you'd call it, cycle notation of all of this, because I want to see what the cycle structure of this permutation is, which will help me figure out how many commutators I need to use. So I actually learned this in Math 108 at Stanford, which is pretty cool. Wait, hold on. Where does D want to go? Wait, okay. There's I don't want to do this backward by mistake, because sometimes I accidentally do that. What is in D's position? Where does it go? Q. So the first thing is D to Q, like that. And then what's in Q's position? Where does it want to go? That's O. So the next one's O. What's in O's position? Where does it want to go? T. And then S. And then L. And then X. Oh, this is a big cycle. And then K. And then that takes us back to D. So our first cycle is an 8 cycle. Pretty cool. That's odd parity, but I think that will be fixed by the next one. Okay, so now we have to cycle break. So the first one that I haven't seen yet, well, let's just go to W. I don't really care. W, what's in W's position? N. What's in N's position? W. Oh, we're done. Okay, so this is the whole cycle notation right here, and that accounts for all 10 letters, and we have an 8 cycle of odd parity and a 2 cycle of odd parity. So odd plus odd equals even, so we're good. Everything makes sense. The 2 cycle is gonna, we're gonna have weird cycle breaks. This is gonna take 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on. I think it's gonna take 6 commutators. Yeah, cause okay. Let me pair everything up now. As if I was memorizing for blind. So when I finish off the cycle, I think I have to go back to D. This is really weird. I'm actually not sure what I'm doing. But I think in terms of cycles, I need to do these 6 commutators. I think D needs to show up twice because we have to finish off the cycle, but I'm just not sure. But I mean, if it goes wrong, I know how to fix it, so let's just get started. So the first cycle is buffer to D to Q, and the buffer is always going to be the centerpiece. So D is up here, this thing's in the middle, and Q is over here. This is actually not going to be as easy as I thought. I have to keep track of what moves I do to bring D and Q into the locations I want them to be, which is where I and J are right now. I think. Wait, hold on. Let me make sure. Okay, the cycle. What pieces is it? Oh no, it's not I and J. Wait. Okay. Oh, I'm dumb. I'm so dumb. Okay, the commutator doesn't affect the center M at all. It affects these three. I'm so dumb. Okay, it affects where H, I, and T are right now. So, in that case, the commutators will be different. I guess I'd be floating this. I guess that's what they call it. But I'm going to start with D as my buffer. I don't like that. I'm actually a little upset. Wait. Oh, I can be smart with this. So the 120 move commutator affects where H, I, and T are. But H and I are solved. T isn't. So what if I use that as my buffer to kind of, I don't know, float, I guess. So if we start with T, then our notation, well, okay, yeah, it's actually pretty simple. I'm just going to cycle everything like this. Okay, it looks pretty much the same, but it's just this now. And T is my buffer. So I'm going to just write that there. T is my buffer. And it can't float, of course, because the last cycle is a 2 cycle. Yeah, okay, you get that. So now the thing I have to memorize, so this is essentially like 3 blind, is this. So actually that removes an entire commutator, which I'm really happy about. And sorry for all the cringe to the people who know exactly what's going on and are frustrated with me. But all I need is SL, XK, DQ, OW, NW. Okay, finally, let's get started with that. We're already like 12 minutes in. So SL. Now, okay, this is frustrating. I can't move T because that's my buffer. S and L are, okay, these locations refer to like the actual locations where they would be if they were solved. So S is here and L is here. Now I have to, this is actually going to be kind of hard. My setup moves, I need to keep track of them because I need to undo them, but the cursor, the M, also has to come back to the place it started at. Okay, let me draw this. This might be easier for me to see if I draw this. Oh, I think I can also put them in either of the 2 locations, and if it happens to be like in the like flipped the wrong way, I can just do the whole thing reversed, or just do it twice, which might actually be safer because I didn't write down the reverse. Anyway, so right now I have this situation. S is, so this is like S, L. Then like I'll put a star where the buffer is here. And I need to get this to here. You'll see what I'm doing soon. I bet this pen is gonna bleed so much. Okay, so buffer to S, S to L. So I want to pay attention to the direction these are going in. So it's like this, buffer to S. Okay, so I will do whatever setup moves it takes to get from the picture on the left to the picture on the right. See that? So I think I'm gonna write it out so that I don't accidentally mess it up and then have to start all over again. I could even open up a second tab and do this in Sandbox, except that I feel like that would be cheating, so I'm not going to. The good thing is S is already in the correct column, right? These setup moves are going to be hard. Jeez, okay. Because L has to come over, but it's... Oh, I have an idea. Okay, let's see. If I go down, left, down. If we go down, left, down, okay, it's going to put L and S. God, okay. This is hard. Let's do down, left, up. Okay, down, left, up. Oh, okay, I got this. Down, left, up, right, up, up. Oh, okay. You know what? I'm gonna open up another tab and figure this out. And if you think I'm cheating, like, whatever. I decree that I'm not cheating. Like, typically if you're good at solving this, like, this would slow you down so much. But, okay, my goal is to bring L and S into where H and I are right now, and then not move O at all. So my plan was down, right, up. That was left, whatever. Oh, that shifted over. Okay, never mind. I mean, technically this should be easy because you can always solve a 3x3. Just, like, kind of intuitively. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get the... So, like, I can't move O, which is a real limiting factor because that means the cursor can never move left or right unless I move into a different row. Maybe I should use a different buffer. Okay, I'm going to switch buffers. I think I is actually my best buffer, like where I is, because oh, I don't like that, but I is diagonal from the cursor, so it doesn't limit any moves for the most part. No, actually, okay, I'm gonna stick with it. I gotta stick with my guns because if I keep flipping, I'm never gonna finish. It's already 16 minutes. Okay. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna do... Oh, if I do fewest moves... Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to fewest moves. I'm just gonna solve it. Wait, I don't know how to solve it. Okay, okay. I'm gonna go to free movement. So this is just fewest moves, 5x5. So I'm just gonna solve it like normal, and then this will give me an undo redo feature, which is what I want. I just have to be careful that I'm only using M as my cursor and I'm not dragging any free rows. Okay, cool. So that's solved. Now I'm gonna go, okay, cool. Solve L and S. I'm going to, okay, 1, 2. Okay, okay, this isn't gonna be super entertaining. I'm just drawing stuff to help me figure out how I'm gonna get into this position. Okay, if we get to that position, we're good. Undo once, undo once. Okay. 1, 2, 3. God, this is so hard. I don't even care if it's inefficient, right? It really doesn't matter at this point. Okay. There. I did it, okay? So that was like the longest setup ever, but whatever. Okay, so I'm gonna record that now. This is kind of nerve-wracking. We do it once. So I have to do this 5 times, by the way. But I think other cases will be better. So that was up, right? Up, left, up, up, right, down, right, down, down, down. Okay, that should have just been up too, but whatever. Left, left, up, up, left, down, down, right, up, up, right, down. Okay, so this is the setup. The setup for the commutator. And then I'm gonna do it, and then I'm gonna undo that setup. Here we go. If I mess up, I can undo, I think. Whatever. So let's give this a shot. Cool. I think that's right. Now I do the 120 move commutator. It looks completely scrambled. That's just how it's gonna be. Don't worry. Is this worth it? Okay, commutator time. Done. First quarter done. First half done. It looks completely scrambled, to be honest. Three quarters done. Okay, done with the commutator. Now I'm going to go back to the setup and undo that. Watch this not work at all. So I have to do this whole thing in reverse now. Whatever. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, I think I did it. Let me see. Okay, so S is solved and L is solved. Ooh, that means I did it right. I did that right, guys. Oh my god. Wait, what? Okay, that worked. So now I only have 4 commutators left to go. Okay, actually I'm feeling good about this. Like, the puzzle already looks kind of solved right now, don't you think? Okay, XK. So that, let me just do the same diagram thing here. I don't know if you can see that, this thing, but I'm gonna do it again. Okay, XK. I'm really happy that that actually worked. I was expecting the worst and I would end up with just a scrambled result. It's so weird that when I want to apply these commutators, there's 4 pieces I have to keep in mind. There's the cursor, the buffer, and the 2 pieces that are going to be cycled, which is just like so many. So buffer, buffer. Okay, now the letters are XK, right? Yeah. By the way, my memo for XK is shark because I use SH, or the sh sound for X, and every time I see a K, I don't want to mix it up with the C sound, so I always put an R sound near the K. So like CK for me is cork, but KC is crack, and that works pretty well. Okay. X to K. X to K to buffer. 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 Okay, so this is what my setup needs to do now. It looks a little easier in my opinion, but we'll see. We're almost at half an hour. Okay, nice to know. Okay, so I want to end up... I'm going to go to this thing again. Undo the longest setup of all time. Now I want to get to this position again. So then I can just, wait, no, this should be here. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna do inefficient stuff again. Man. Oh, that was wrong. Hold on. Actually, no, I'm gonna keep that. No, I shouldn't have done that. Okay. K and X, and don't move O. Oh, technically I can move O and then move it back, but that's kind of risky. Let me start over. Sorry for making all of you wait so long. Let's start with K this time. Well, this is not going to be nice. This is so bad. Oh, shoot. Okay. K and X. Oh, this is good. This is good. Wrong way. No, that wasn't right. Okay, the thing is I have K and X next to each other, but like I can't bring them down because M has to come back into the center. I don't know what I'm doing. Ah! Okay, let's be smart about this. Well, I want to be here so I can go like that, but what if I just do like big loops, like, oops. That's not gonna work. You know, I'm gonna start over. Oh, I can't believe you're gonna watch all this. This is embarrassing. Okay. Let me just do what I did before and not think about it. Seriously? Got it. Okay. Sorry for the delay. Finally got K and X in the right spot, blah, 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 blah. So that was what I got to at 114.85. So that means it's a 29 move setup. Okay, I'm just curious. I want to know what the last one was. Last setup was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Last one was 28, so this one's one move longer. That's okay in my mind. Up, right. Up, up. Up, right, left. Oof. Also, that's 3 ups in a row. That's dumb. Up, up. Left, left. Up, up. Left, right, right. Sorry. Down, right. Whenever I say the wrong thing, I always write the right thing, so I think the thing is fine. Up, left. I almost made a mistake there. I'm gonna double check this. Down, right. Up, left. Left, left. That's 3 lefts in a row again. Down, down. Right, right, down. Okay, I'm gonna rewrite this to like get rid of the triples because that's just a place where I could potentially make more mistakes, and then I'm gonna test it again. Down, down, up, up. Okay, go back to 85. Okay, so the one on the bottom is my second setup for XK. I'm just gonna blindly do it and see if I get the right moves. Oh, undo. Oops. Okay, that was right. I made a mistake somewhere, but whatever. I undid the mistake, so we're okay. So that means it works. So I'll do it now. 27 move setup, 120 move commutator. So it's gonna be like 180 moves. Okay, let's just do this. Oh, I need mouse focus. Is that right? I think that's right. I got really scared because I wasn't seeing K and X there, but that's because they need to be shifted, so I think we're okay still. I must have made a bad face. Don't look at my face from then. Okay, 300 move commutator, let's go. Why did I say 300? It's 120. 300 would be awful. Okay. This is so draining. Okay. Okay, commutator is done. K and X are in the right spot. That's a good look. Undo the setup now. I should have put all my notes on consecutive pages instead of having to jump around all the time. Okay, wrong setup. Okay, here. I'm a little nervous. Oops. Okay, cool. K and X are solved. We're getting close. There's only 6 unsolved pieces left. Or 6 letters. It might be 5 unsolved pieces because there's a 2 swap in there. But that worked. Okay, that means I haven't made any mistakes yet. Okay, let's try to pick up the pace because it's already at 36 minutes. Okay, next commutator. DQ. And actually, I can already see DQ in the board, so I know that's right. Back to the testing ground. It's kind of crazy that I have like 2 loopovers open just so I can do this. Okay. DQ is like here and here. Oh shoot, this is okay. Need to get to here. It's written that way, I believe. Okay, so gotta do this. I don't know if you're even interested in this, but like that's what you need to do. Oh, I forgot the arrow to show you what's going on. I need to turn the board on the left into the board on the right as my setup. Okay. This one doesn't look too bad. See that? Okay, I'm gonna say oh, I've got an idea. I'll go like boom. Oh, need mouse focus. Here, here, here. Here. Wait, oops. Okay, I'm gonna do something inefficient. Oh shoot. Okay, I don't know why that happened. Okay, that was a little scary. I don't know what's going on with the cursor. Let me just go back to solve state. Wait. 85 should be solved. But it's not? Okay, there's something really weird going on right now. Well, this is just my testing ground, so it's okay. Let's just do this again. This is dumb. Loopover is dumb. Well, that's 21 moves more efficient than my last 5x5 solution. Okay. Let's move D and Q into the right spot. So I started by doing, first go to M, and then I did that. And I want to put Q here and D here. That's my goal. So I'll do... I can't do that. Wait, is it as simple as that? I think that's it. That's a really short setup. That's like 6 moves. Oh my god. Okay, so all the other ones were like almost 30 moves. This one's only 6. Okay, 7 maybe. 7 moves though. Okay. Down, right. Wait, I'm liking this. I'm liking this. Down, right, down, left. Down, down, down. Oh, that's just up, up, up. So it really is only 6 moves. So there's my setup, really short in the box. Let me just undo and like test. Okay, so it's solved. Now I'm just gonna blindly do those moves. Is it IJK? Oh no, it's these. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. So I have everything I need to know. Back to here. Gonna do the setup. It's only 6 moves. Can't mess this up. Looks good because we have D and Q in this diagonal that will then be cycled over. Now let's do the commutator. I wonder if I'm gonna get under an hour. Commutator, let's go. I just noticed 2 moves in the middle of the commutator cancel. Undo the setup now. Down, down. Okay. Ooh, it's looking real good now. It's looking real good. D and Q are solved. All that's left are 2 more commutators and we're done. Oh man, I'm getting nervous because if I mess up now, that'd be a real shame. Okay. Now I just need OW, NW. Oh, and O is my buffer? Yeah, O is my buffer, so... Wait, what? Okay. I said T was my buffer. Wait, I'm a little confused. No, I'm not confused. I know what to do. I know what to do. We just pretend like we're doing... Like, we're moving O from where it is solved. So OW. Okay, this one's the cursor. And then O. UV-W. Wait, O is... Okay, I'm a little confused. If O is already solved... Hold on, oh! Oh my god. Wait, okay, I can be smart about this. I can just do it in one commutator, because if I rotate the entire algorithm for the commutator... Okay, I think I just reacted weirdly, but... Look at what the commutator does. It does this 3 cycle of like, the one directly above, the one diagonal, and the 1, 2 away. If you rotate it this way, isn't that exactly what I need to do to solve the whole puzzle? I don't even need to do 2 more commutators or like break into new cycles. I just need 1 commutator and it's all solved. So now this is a big risk, but okay. Actually, let me cross this out because it's confusing me. What I have circled right now is achieved by doing these moves. So if I rotate everything, let's see, like this. Let me check. Can you see both at once? Then can you see how like this cycle? Wait, no, sorry. Okay, I overreacted. There's 4 unsolved pieces. I thought S was solved because the colors look so close. There's 4 unsolved pieces. Did I not notice S and T were swapped or something? I don't know. It's 2 2 swaps, which is like the worst kind. Okay, I think I'm still gonna do the rotation thing because then the buffer can be one of the two swaps, so I only need 2 commutators instead of 3. But I need to think. So, okay, N and W just need to be swapped. And T and S need to be swapped. So I'm going to say N is my buffer. Or where N is right now is my buffer. So then my two like things are just WS, TS. So my first setup, I don't think these setups are going to be that bad because just looking at it, they're already really close. I think if I just shift S to the left one, then I'm already in place to do this, to do the commutator. Hold on, but I said WS. Wait, I'm confused. On N. Oh, I'm so confused. So my cycles are N to W to S. And then I want to do N to T to S. So N to W to S. Because N to W to S would solve N, and then it wouldn't solve W or S. Wait, okay. I'm just so frustrated. Okay, no, I'm saying, okay, W is the location of W is my buffer. So then my memo is NTST. Sorry, I'm getting everything just so messed up. NTST. So then my first cycle is W to N to T. Then my next cycle is W to S to T. W to N to T only solves W. What? No, it solves W to N. W to N to D after that. I don't get why this isn't making sense to me. W plus N. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think WNT and then WST will work. Oops, can't do that. Went with. They're flipped, aren't they? Engine. Okay, that works. Okay, I'm so tired. Let's just finish this. Solved here. Okay. 15 move setup. Probably could have been better. Let me just double check. I'm just gonna blindly do these moves. WNT. Okay, that looks good to me. I'm just so worried about the rotated commutator that I'm just yeah, I'm a little scared. Okay, here's the actual board again. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna start the setup now. Okay, that's the 15 move setup. Now, rotated commutator. Rotated which way? Rotated this way. Okay, so now it's like that. You see that? It's rotated, okay. To do this to the pieces. Okay, here it goes. One quarter done. Halfway done. Three quarters done. Completely done. Now undo the setup moves. Okay, 1 3 cycle left. I can see it's almost entirely solved. I might get under an hour. If I don't, that's okay. And here we just have W to S to T. Exactly what I had planned. W to S to T. This looks pretty easy to get W to S to T. Because I just need to move T over where N is, I think. Yeah. Go like... Yeah, I knew I couldn't just do that, but if I go like dun 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 dun, shoot. Like that. Okay, that might have been less efficient than I could have, whatever. Last setup move. Thank you for putting up with me through all of this. Okay. 10 move setup right there, pretty short. The second shortest of the game so far. I'm gonna double check. WST like that, and then the commutator will do its thing. Choose WST. Okay, cool. I probably won't make it under an hour, that's okay. So I guess I'll just get going then. 10 move setup. I'm so nervous. Okay, commutator time. Rotate it this way. Yeah, I can see that this will work if we do the commutator right. Okay. I'm nervous. One quarter done. Halfway done. Three quarters done. Done with the last commutator. Now I need to undo the 10 setup moves, and then it should be solved. Oops. Oh my god! I actually almost got lost halfway through the setup, and I was like terrified that I just messed up the whole thing. But I got it back, because like the whole thing is reversing the setup is kind of difficult because you need to reverse the direction of the arrows and the order you do them in. But I just got it. 5x5 loop over, no regrips, solved it. 1 hour, 0 minutes, 44 seconds, 44.927. I gotta fix the display so that it shows like 2 zeros for the seconds instead of just 1, but you get the idea. Over an hour of that, and it's solved. And yeah, I guess that's all there is to it. Almost 6 years of trying to figure out how to do this, and I finally did it. And it took me 1,214 moves. That needs to be brought down a lot. So I did 5 commutators, so that already accounts for about half of those moves, because that's like 600. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you didn't watch the whole thing. I now hold this world record, I guess. I'll see you later. I gotta work on homework now. Bye!